Here we go. We're live. Welcome everyone to another very special episode of VPR Radio with your girl Kiana the Goddess and the incredible DJ FMI. How are you, partner?
Uh, it's been a day, even though the day just started. VPR, we have been running around for Fashion Week. Yesterday we were at SOBs where the event got canceled.
Right.
VPR, I parked my car, I hopped out, did my little hour drive. Y'all know how a New York City minute is, and just to get there and to get canceled, I'm like, toll, gas later. But we here at VPR, of course, bringing out the exclusive content every Thursday.
Yeah. Listen, Mercury retrograde just started, and it's like that shit has started with a bang. You feel me? Because
You
even
know,
after I got home, because I was like 2/3 of the way there, I'll say, because it's a quick trip through Brooklyn to downtown Manhattan. When you hit me when we were talking, I'm like, I'm so sorry, just head over. And you're like, oh, it's been canceled. I'm like, what?
yo,
Meanwhile, it's just like, the timing of things and stuff is crazy. Then I came back to some more madness. I was like, oh, all right, of course. Woke up this morning late. I was like, oh, of course. And the theme continues, but we are grateful always to be here. And of course, VPR Radio is always such a highlight of my week. The
Mhm.
vibes that we have, nobody can match it, partner. Nobody can match this vibe and what we do. And that's why I'm so passionate about it.
And every Thursday, it's all we try here. We try to keep a positive energy, although we're going through real life situations. Just to touch on some of the news that has happened over the weekend. R.I.P. to PNB Rock. You know,
Yeah. Oh my God. Another
um,
one. Another one of our hip hop artists, another artist who had so much potential. Say what you want about whether you agree with the music or you think an artist is hot or not. Like if they're ready to pop, they're ready and they should have their shot. And it's just the hate is real. I know there's a big debate going back and forth, like should we blame the girl, should we, but I think that that's definitely an element that can't be forgotten. People
yeah,
have to respect privacy. Both of us, partner, we live our lives very publicly based on what we do, but otherwise we're super private. You don't even post shit until you've left the spot.
you see,
You know what I'm
there's
saying?
rules to it.
How many things do we don't even cap, or we capture content and go, capture content and go. It's not like you stick and move. Like you're not going to know where I am. Too many crazy people and hating people, even if they just think you have something or they don't like you. I mean, look at Selena.
Hmm.
Rest in play and peace to that beautiful young queen that was about to pop, super talented, beautiful. That envy and that jealousy, man. Biggie spoke on it. Speaking of Biggie, right? I mean, come on. And LA,
And Kiana, and I'm not gonna act like this isn't a situation that is above or can't happen to anybody. You know what I mean? The situation with PNB Rock, um, so many people post their location on social media every
they
day.
do.
You
They
know what I
do.
mean? Whether they go out to eat, whether you're shopping, whether people are in Manhattan, but
Even
it does.
that check-in feature on Facebook,
Yeah,
I
it's like, and most people don't
out.
even pay, and most people don't even pay attention to like Snapchat and how when you sign up for Snapchat, you allow them to view your location. But if you really look at it, you could click the Snap map, and I could see where most of my friends are on the map in real time. And I know most people don't turn that off. It's always on. I've seen people with it on for years, and I made sure I took mine off, and I'm like, all right, if you. But that situation did leave me rocked because we DJ, we do events where we have to say where we are. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
very true.
And just to bring awareness to the event. So for that just to happen there, of course, we're not at the same stardom of PNB Rock where he's
Right,
walking around with a $50 million chain on. That
right,
changes the whole dynamic.
right. And even when you are, then we have to talk about this too. And I don't want to drag it because it's already done. Unfortunately, another young man lost his life. Another young rapper that was
30
talented.
years old.
Yeah, I mean, it breaks my heart because I have sons in this age range. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why do we keep losing them to the streets? Why do we keep losing them when they're coming up? And I think that, like, even Ice-T commented on LA and what a hateful kind of place it is, and how you don't see them flashing chains and all of that. Like, you got to be careful. Have some security. Invest in security. You hit a certain level of stardom. I understand you just want to move among the people, but you really just can't. Keep yourself protected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had stalkers and everything, FMI. So let me tell you something. I'm very careful.
I've had my encounters where I've had mine too. You know what I mean? Where I've gotten tight and told people, meet me at the show and I'll give you a backstage pad just so I can beat you up. I've done, but that's in my younger days. But I've done things like that. So I understand. And what rocks me the most is too, people forget or don't know that PNB Rock lived in LA for quite a few years before this even happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he was just venturing out there, like whereas Pop Smoke, whatever the case may be. He stayed out there. He was aware of the situations out there, but you know he just chose one of.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, the hate is so real.
We just came out of pandemic. People are broke. The PPE loans done dried up. Nobody's buying Casamigos and Fresh Tims no more. Nobody's going out to eat Benihana's no more. So when they see somebody with a $20,000 Rolex on Rodeo Drive, you know what I mean? They're gonna take that. And I just feel like now the generation.
They're not going to do it on Rodeo Drive. They're not going to do it in Melrose. And
no, they will now. But Kiana, if you look at California, that's where they're doing it now. These smash and grabs, because they're not prosecuting them. You know, and that's a thing where it's like things that were a felony got bumped down to a misdemeanor. Misdemeanors got bumped down to nothing. So, and what is it? They have to steal a certain amount in order to file charges. So it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on with the LA gang culture. It's a lot that's going on just in LA.
Right, and in Illinois as well. I know they just changed those laws. And a lot of people don't realize they did it in New York as well.
Oh, yeah.
This happened over a year ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. You know what I mean? I don't know if the extremities match, but I know there's a lot of things that you can get away with, go in and get out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's scary.
When there's no fear of repercussions, that breeds a lot. And I feel like during the pandemic, tensions have boiled over where it's we didn't solve some of the issues that we were feeling during the pandemic, and then we just basically took those same emotions and put them in other places. You know what I mean? And it's not turning out better. It sucks to see another rapper go at such a young age, and it sucks to see his girlfriend going through to get blamed right now. Like, I don't even want to put blame on her, but like you said, you can't be sitting out there posting pictures and you don't see. Right. You don't see
Tommy. Based on, remember, he spoke on people trying to attempt to rob him before.
Yeah.
So at that point, now you need to be extra private. Like, who cares about social media? And this is just like the point that I want to prove. People will use social media to such extremes that I'm not saying that her posting, is what was the caveat, but I'm sure it doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? And just like, even if you're not a public figure, like, be careful and just live your life privately. You see people out here flashing money. One guy the other day was talking about, I don't know what the hell he was talking about, because I see him every day out begging for money. Talking about all the money that he has. He has $10,000 in his pocket. He's just out here hustling for this and that. Talking to some guy in the car, and I'm just like, the face, like. But even that kind of talk, like, let's say that was real. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
that's how you get lined. That's how you get backdoored. You know what I mean? There's so many slangs for it.
I know.
That's how you end up done up.
Yeah.
With your 10,000 gone. You know what I mean? Look at Alpo. Like, when he got out, you see, years went by and they still ain't let that man sleep. They caught him in his car, money, drug.
Safari.
What are we doing? You see what I'm saying? When people are getting a drop on your location, especially when you're traveling, especially if you're going to be posting that you're out with your family at location, people are going to run in your house. You know what I'm saying? It happens a lot during holidays. It happens a lot during the Super Bowl. When I seen the officer in LA saying during what was it, Super Bowl week? Not Super Bowl weekend. I think the finals or whatever the case may be. When he was telling people, don't come to LA. If you're thinking about visiting LA as a tourist,
I remember, don't do it.
If the cops could tell me not to come, and they're saying that this is the real life purge, LA, I believe you, LA. I believe you.
I'm good. I don't need to come and prove you wrong.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I hate those type of people, Kiana. I like, the little nasty people. But smell this. It stink. No, believe you me.
Why?
I believe you. I don't gotta smell it. I don't gotta come near.
I hate that. I hate that smell this. It's terrible type. Like, you know it's terrible. You told me it's terrible. I believe you.
Now I gotta bring my nose to validate its terribleness, VPR. But guys, just goes to show, make your music, just try to stay out of the way. If it doesn't pertain to your business, don't put it on social media. Never drop locations. I was sitting there this week. We were getting ready to do the SLB event last night. Mm-hmm. And I had a moment where I'm about to drop the location. I was like, nah. It ain't that worth it. It ain't that worth it. I'll let you know when I'm going.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah. You'll know when I'm out of there. Okay. I was here. I was there, but not anymore.
VPR, also, if you've been checking into this news, which, and I don't know why they didn't put this Ray J sex tape, Kim Kardashian thing to bed. Y'all had sex.
That's back?
Well, yeah, Ray J he's really online. He's really not happy.
Yeah, I heard he was ranting. What was he ranting about? Because I
think it's just the way that Kim has a new show out and the way they're making him seem like it was his idea to release the video when it wasn't. So he's going back now and showing that, look, it was her mother that plotted all of this, showing the text messages, showing her, oh, we don't like this sex tape. Let's do another sex tape and another play. Wow. So he had like 2 different sex tapes. The mom was watching that. The mom was watching that saying, oh, this one's not good. Let's reshoot. And yeah, so it's a lot of that going on. Kim signing on it, signing Ray J's signature. And he's just like, leave me out of it. Like, I have business. I have a kid. So.
Yo, FMI.
I
knew that she co-signed it, like, for sure, right? That's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But
your mom's, though.
I don't like this scene.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
As a mother, I'm flabbergasted.
Kiana, we are in different times. You know what I'm saying? If it's for monetary gain and we can put it online and make some money on it, I think now that's the key to a lot of people's clout or their glow up, in a sense. You know
Why my kids are not allowed social media till they're 16. I will remain firm in that. I don't care.
I'm still getting used to my little cousins that's now of age interacting with me on social media, and I'm like,
right. What are you doing here?
I done raised you, but it's cool. I'll just say it's all right, man.
All right, I like that picture. What are you wearing?
I just think it's ugly. You know what I mean? They both have kids, so it's just getting to a point where it's just like, leave that situation alone. It was years ago. I don't know what Kim has in set for her show and what she's trying to use it for views, but I'm like, just leave it alone. Yeah. You can see that Ray J don't want nothing to do with it. He's just he's putting you out on blast. She's blocking him in real time. It's a whole lot of messy shit.
It's a lot going on. I can't keep up. I know the show is Keep Up, but I definitely do not keep up with it. Okay? It's my own damn life.
Guys, and of course, we are adding new music to our VPR Radio playlist. So I will always drop that. That's a little shameless plug. Make sure you check out our VPR Radio playlist because why not? New music, unsigned artists, and great vibes.
Hit our Spotify, and if you want to add your song to our playlist, right, send us an email at vpr.radio@gmail.com. Have some patience. We'll get to you. There's a lot of emails in there. There's a lot of interview requests. That's where you can also send an interview request. Please send a professional email or have someone send it on your behalf because, I'm a hot I need an interview. When can I get an interview? None of that is going to work. Please treat our platform with the respect that it deserves. Thank you.
And we will get back to those DMs and emails immediately because I see a few artists that I actually look forward to interviewing, and I gotta, reach out to them and chop it up with them. But
sure. Get them on. And listen, guys, I just want to remind you, we are always booked, and this is a blessing. We don't take it for granted. Have a lot of gratitude. We're always booked 3+ months in advance. So if you're looking for an interview like the same month, the same week, next week, it's not going to happen. Rarely we can accommodate people that we adore. to push them in to do a double up, but we don't prefer to do that. So please give yourself time. If you know you have a press run coming, plan it out with your publicist, your marketing team, and make sure you hit VPR like 3 months in advance. All right. With that being said, I see that Mr. Sterling has walked into the building, so I definitely want to bring him up to the stage. Hi, Gordon. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing wonderful. We're happy to have you here, and we want to know all about you and your wonderful career, and what you've been doing, what Gordon Sterling and the people is all about, and where it stems from.
Yeah, so I'm out of DC, DC based music. Born in Queens, New York, to Jamaican parents. So I've had music in my life from as long as I've been alive. So moved down here with my folks when I was a kid and started my musical career here. And as far as my past, I have done things with my original band was The Ordinary Way. That happened right out of high school. With like right out of high school. I think our first gig was like June 11th, and we'd gotten out of school, I think, earlier that week. And within a year, we were touring. So it happened really quick for me. And I've been doing that ever since. I've had several bands. I've had a band called Future, not the rapper, but we had a band called Future. And then we had I was in a band called Nappy Rhythm, which is a reggae band based out of here. And now I have Gordon Sterling and the People, which is the first band that I've had that I've named after me, that, I feel so strong about the music and so strong about the people involved that I'm glad to put my name behind it, And we just released a new album called Truth, released it on September 2nd. And yeah, we're hitting the road hard, trying to, get out there and do the thing.
So Gordon,
yes,
tell
sir.
me about how you met the people, and a little bit about each of the members in that. So so people get a touch of the feeling for them.
Right. So this is, oddly enough, this is the second incarnation of it, even though it's our first album. And the reason for that is because the last incarnation, dear friends of mine still to this day, lifelong friends, right? They had their, like, how should I put it? Basically, they had their other groups, right? And they cared about this group very much, but this group was the secondary thing to what the rest of them had going on, right? And right before we were going to release an EP, the pandemic hit and shut everything down. So what seemed as a curse actually ended up being a blessing, because what happened is my other guitar player in my band, whose name is Cliff Blum, he was a good friend for a while. And I was like, well, okay, we can't get out and tour, can't get out on the road, because I'm a full-time musician. So I was like, okay, I guess I need to figure out something to try to get some income, because all that income just vanished. So I was considering going and teaching, which I had not done forever. I don't think, and I've never done it in any serious capacity, because I've always been a performer. So when it comes to teaching, I'm so far removed, and forgive me if I'm being long-winded, but I just want to give a little background. I'm so far removed from being a student of music that I kind of had to learn how to relate to people just picking up the instrument or just getting into music again. So my friend Cliff, who is a teacher, I was like, hey, I got a weird request. I need some lessons on how to teach. Can you help me just get back in? And he's like, sure. And that really never happened, because right away we realized that we had this ability to finish each other's sentences musically. And he had some songs that he was like, hey, what do you think of this? And I was like, that's really great. Do you mind if I add something to that? And he was like, yeah. And I started showing him some of my stuff, and the teaching to teach didn't happen. we just got into writing music and started, and then with our rhythm section, who was Dave Ray on drums, Scott Clement on bass, I had gigged with those guys as a 3-piece for years before, just like, doing gigs here and there. And I love them as a rhythm section. Absolutely loved him in the rhythm section. So when Cliff and I started realizing this was getting more serious, I was like, all right, well, let's get Scott and Dave, because those are my guys. And Cliff had known them, so that was easy. And then our keyboard player, who's Natalie Brooke, who has her own band, actually, and just released a record of her own. I ran a jam at this place called Gypsy Sally's in DC. And she was my keyboard player for that jam. And I just loved the way she played music. So I was like, all right, we got to get Natalie too. And then it started to I started to realize that music with them is kind of where I wanted to be. And it started to feel like I wanted to feel putting music out. And so I came to the other incarnation and I was like, hey guys, I hate to do this, but I kind of, this other thing that I thought was going to be a side project is not going to be a side project. This is really where it's at. And it's my name, Gordon Sterling People. So I need to take my name. And they were so supportive of it. They were really amazing about it. And was like, very encouraging. Like, nah, man, do your thing. Do what you got to do. And those guys now have a band called Novo, spelled Knovo. If anybody wants to check them out, they're incredible. But then, just started when the pandemic started to, when we started to come out of, well, I guess we're not technically out of it. When we started to come out of the restrictions from the pandemic, we went out and gigged as Gordon Sterling People. And then just recently we added a backup singer, Jenny Langer, who is amazing also. And that was it. From there, we just, been hitting the ground running, playing all over.
When I think of a band, I always wonder, I listen to like Nickelback and certain like rock groups and things like that. And I always wonder, how do they come together? How do they blend the styles? So my next question to you is, what do you guys do when you have disagreements upon when you want to add something to a song where you want to take it off? How does that happen? Like disagreements in the group?
Well, okay. For one thing, it's going to sound bad, but it's my group, so I'm the final say, but it's not a dictatorship. I don't want to make it seem like I'm ruling with an iron fist. It's not like that. We all write and we all contribute to this band. But the way that we deal with it, if it's like a musical disagreement, I kind of decide which way it's going to go, right? But the beautiful thing about this band, and I'm not making this up, we don't really have a lot of musical disagreements. That's kind of the thing that made it. It was a very organic thing. I deal with energy a lot. I'm very attuned to energy and how and the vibes people are putting off and different things. I'm a very spiritual person in nature. I was trying to avoid saying that word because it sounds like such a generic term, I'm a spiritual person. But I believe in the energy of people and energy of intention. And we all have the same intention when it comes to music and what we're trying to say and be musically, And so we don't really have a lot of musical disagreements. We have more scheduling disagreements than musical disagreements, to be honest with you. I mean, these are, we just are very much a hive mind. So I'll let you know. Whenever we have a musical disagreement, I'll hit you up and be like, "Yo, it happened. This is what happened. This is how we dealt with it." So, I don't know yet. I'm lucky enough not to know yet.
No, I think it's beautiful that you say that. I think, especially when you've ascended to a place of really being spiritual, you can tap into that energy, and then you're connected with people. Like FMI and we've been partners for 4+ years. We've never had one single disagreement.
Right. So you understand. Yeah.
I absolutely understand. The same with like my friendships. We don't disagree. We don't argue. Like even if we may not see eye to eye on something, we'll talk through it, which is the power of being a great communicator. Right.
Right.
And when you have respect and love for what you do and each person plays their role, I think that, like you said, it's not a dictatorship. Right. So while you are the final say, everyone's got their own creative control and aspect. And, that when that energy flows naturally, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm absolutely happy to hear that. Can you tell us what your goals are overall for the band, like over the next couple of years? I know that you're touring. Do you have anything that you really have set? You said, you know, I want for us to do this, and then we move on to do this.
Yeah, we put it that, and to not to skip over your question, to answer to add on to what you said before, we have a thing in this band where we say the music is the boss. So if there is a disagreement, like where musically is it supposed to go, we can all feel it. Where it's supposed to go. That's where it's supposed to go. All right, end of discussion. You know, but as far as our goals are, so being a musician, you have to diversify quite a bit, right? Especially if you're a full-time musician, you have to get into a lot of different things to make a living doing it, right? It's hard to do it with just one project. In most cases, impossible to do it in just one project. But I believe in this project. And so I think that, and I believe in what we have to say. I think our messages are relatable to people. And I think that I would love to see us get to the point where we can sustain ourselves for the most part financially from this band. And like I said, I'm a full-time musician. We're all full-time musicians, but we all diversify. There are some people in my band that teach and also do this. There's some people, you know, that have several groups. Like, you know, I have a side project that I go out and do stuff. I do acoustic stuff. I do studio things, all that kind of stuff all the time. And I would love to get to the point where we can sustain ourselves, sustain our lifestyles, sustain our families and all that off of this project, and allowing us the freedom to kind of do whatever we want to do from that. You know what I mean? I would love eventually to get international. We've been played internationally, but we haven't played internationally. You know what I mean? Our music has gotten out there, but it's gotten out there before we have. I think we love to play live. We're not a band that wants to get there and then play as little as possible. So I would say a goal, if I had to put a number on a goal, I would love to be able to be doing 1,000-seaters everywhere that we are lucky enough to tour, and to be able to sustain ourselves off doing that. So that's a short-term goal. And when I say short-term, like next 2 years kind of thing, that's what we're aiming for. Outside of that, I hope that we are all healthy more than anything, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, so that we're able to put ourselves into this work. I hope we haven't had those disagreements that we alluded to earlier, and I hope we are still together. Yeah, my goals are simple, man. I want to be. I've lived enough life and chased enough things that I've realized that I'm done with the chase, and I want to be healthy and happy and prosperous, meaning living off of playing music and being able to experience other things that we will encounter when we're on the road. So I don't know. I guess those are my goals. It's hard to put, you know what I mean? I'll know when I'm there. I'll know the goal when I'm there. For right now, it's to keep growing and keep getting it.
No, I think that's really solid.
Right on.
Yeah, and I think that's solid too. As entertainers and as musicians, we always think about the lights and the bigger stage, and you know, things like that. And we get lost in that.
Yeah.
And we think that for so many years, where that's the only end goal, and even when we get to that stage, it still won't be big enough. Yeah. So when you said that to me, it's, you know, being from a place of being healthy and profiting from your music, and your group members are just being good. It resonated with me. Now, you have an album called The Truth.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me the truth about this album. What has brought it up? You know, some of the inspirations in it. Tell me the truth about this album.
So,
your voice is breaking up a little bit, man.
Yeah, you're cutting out, Gordon.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I just moved back a little bit. Now it's working. Okay. So the way that this incarnation got together, like I said, had a lot to do with me realizing a truth in myself and kind of like where I wanted to be musically, right? So a lot of the songs I think not on purpose, but kind of ended up being about uh, living one's truth, being about being honest and true to what we wanted to do or what I wanted to do or what things that are going on in my life, So I think, not think, this album ended up being about just that, living one's truth. And I think each song is kind of like a different window into a different aspect of my truth, because I wrote the lyrics. But it's also, I'm writing lyrics based on my own life, but also pulling from the lives of people that I encounter or experiences that I encounter or things that I may witness, things my band members may witness. There's songs on there that, I watch my band members go through things, and they may not, they're not lyricists, may not be lyricists, and maybe not want to like communicate it that way, but I'll see it and I'll just like, yo, I wrote this about your situation. Is it okay if I put this in the song? And they're like, yeah, go ahead and put it in the song. You know what I mean? So I think it's ultimately it's about living one's truth. You know what I mean? Being black in America, just seeing the way that people dealt with NFL players kneeling down. We couldn't even kneel down. You know what I mean? That is, it's so hard to live one's truth right now in this day and age. You see people that are part of the LGBTQ community that just want to live their truth, right? And then people have all this things to say about it. It's just like, yo, they're trying to just live their lives. They're not trying to bother you. And these people have all these restrictions on them. And is it good? It's not your business. It's just them being them. If it's not bothering you and it's not, intruding on your existence, leave them alone and just let people be, live and let live, for real. So I think seeing all of those things happen during the pandemic, the Trump presidency, the, all of the things that we have known our whole lives about how the police treat us, that all of a sudden America's realizing that it happens. We're seeing a lot of people kind of tired of having their light extinguished. You know what I mean? You see people every day trying to like just break out and live their truth, and that seeped into the record, as well as when my own and experiences and the experiences of my band members. So that was a really long way of saying that the album Truth, which the title song and the album reflect, it's just about living one's truth. That's what it's about. Being honest to yourself.
I love that you said that, because I often, say to myself, we live in America, which is supposed to be filled with freedoms, right? Freedom for each person that lives here, but that's really not the case.
Not at all.
There's so many restrictions, and then, societal building that has been done, especially with people of color, for things to get to the point where they have gotten, by design. And it's unfortunate, because as a human being, the basic concepts of right and wrong are in front of all of us, and if someone isn't hurting another person, doing something intentionally wrong, and they're just different, it's fear that makes people act out. Fear, lack of understanding of things that they don't understand, miseducation and miscommunication. Obviously in America, I see now they're even trying to change up how the presidents were portrayed as non-pro-slavery, although all own slaves. I mean, what are we doing? I'm a mother of 6, and my children, I can count, I think it was 3 Black male teachers that they had in the New York City school system out of all 6 of them.
Yeah.
So there's so many disparities and such a difference between things. So I love that you are writing about the truth, because there's a lot of music out right now where people are expressing their emotions of anger or, about what they're dealing with in their environment. But sometimes you have to dig a little bit deeper. And obviously we're all individuals, so it's all about perspective. But I think we all are connected by our own truths more than we're connected by our differences.
Yeah, I agree with that. In where I live just outside of DC. I live in Northern Virginia. My daughter is in her second year at VCU at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and she, witnessed me get harassed by the police looking into my own car. Like I was standing outside looking into my own car, and the Governor Youngkin, who just got elected here in Virginia, he got elected. Part of the big thing that elected him, which was kind of surprising because Virginia is actually fairly blue, even though it's in the South, and that's based on Northern Virginia because Northern Virginia is very liberal. So, but this guy just got elected, and one of his biggest platforms was going against the teaching of critical race theory. And he won that without, like, how do you, it blows my mind that people still want to, for lack of a better word, whitewash history and not say what it is. Not, you know what I mean? Not, it's not about brainwashing anybody from our side. I mean, it's about telling what happened. And there's now legislation against telling what happened, against telling the truth. There's literally, like, the way that the Virginia schools, or at least up here or in Northern Virginia, run now, you are not allowed to give this disparaging view on the forefathers when they were all slave owners. You know what I mean? It's just, there's laws against telling the truth. That's insane.
Yeah, laws against telling the truth.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, and all you have to do is a little bit of searching history, not even just of America, but the other continents as well, to look at colonization, how things came to be, and where racism was created and how. I mean, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And, as creators, I think that's why it's such a blessing to have that as an outlet to express yourself.
Yeah.
Because, I think that's also why a lot of people find themselves blowing up and stuff, not having a positive and healthy outlet, to express themselves. Can I ask you, for anyone that's aspiring to become a musician, what kind of advice would you give them?
Love it. Make sure you love it. Make sure it is like oxygen to you, because it is a tough road. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it, but it is tough. So make sure that you absolutely cannot live without it. Don't give up at all. Past all the pep talks, though, I would say recognize that the music industry is changing in your favor. That now, because of the internet, because of shows like this, because of, there's ways to be an independent musician and make it. Don't believe the hype that you need the machine. In fact, in a lot of ways, you want to avoid the machine, depending on what kind of artist you are. If you're a pop artist, unfortunately, it's a little hard to avoid the machine. So be aware, make sure your team is small, hardworking, and trustworthy. Because you don't want to have too many people you have to keep your eye on, but you want the people who are around you to be down with your cause, not just there to get the shine when shine comes. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with people that find honor in doing the hard, dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And people that are motivated by the same things you're motivated by, and motivated to make your project a success. Because you're always going to need a team. There are no real solo artists. Even though you may see somebody who has, like, it's just one person as a name, there absolutely is a team behind them. Be aware, be as educated as you can about the industry and about different ways to get your music out, and be creative, man. It is the cool thing about being an artist right now is that because we don't need the industry standards as much as we used to, because we don't, need the big labels as much. There are still gatekeepers, but there's a lot more gates now, and they can't keep all of them. So, be original, go out there and like I said, keep your team small. Don't be discouraged if the quick thing doesn't come, because the quick thing normally doesn't come, you know, and be present in the journey, because it's not about a journey. I mean, it's not about a destination. It's about a journey. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess that's what I just wanted to say. Be present, be awake, be focused.
VPR, I am loving the energy here because, you know, we have a lot of artists that do DM us at VPR and they're asking, hey, this is my budget, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, hey, if you're not putting your money in the right places, as far as who you're working with that are credible sources, you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's so many Spotify playlists out there, but for you to land on the one that pertains to your sound that will actually boost your fan base is what matters.
Right.
Gordon,
itself is learning, is the learning curve. Just figuring that out. You're so right to bring that up, brother, for real.
It definitely is. So, Gordon, I've spent since I've seen that we actually had you for an interview, I spent maybe like an hour watching some of your performances on YouTube. And you have quite a lot of performances on YouTube. I was blown away by how many stages you've hit just with your band. So tell me your most favorite performance, your favorite crowd. I need to know that now.
Okay. My favorite performance, I don't have to think about it. I know what it is right away. My favorite performance is my favorite for a weird reason. It was the first time that this band played at 930 Club, which if for viewers that don't know, 930 Club is the club in DC, in Washington, DC to play. It's world famous. Everybody plays there, right? It was our first time playing 930 Club, and it was packed. Packed, ton of people. We were opening for our good friends Oh He Dead, and first two songs, everything's going to plan. Show is breezing, flying. Third song in, my guitar goes out. There's a problem with my gear. I still to this day have no idea what happened to my gear, because I set it up afterwards and it was fine. So I don't know why this happened, or maybe I do know why this happened when you see the rest of the story. So my gear goes out. Performance is happening. We're mid-song. I'm singing. My gear goes out. We're in the middle of it. I'm about to hit a solo. I don't have time to communicate to my band at all. They can see that something's wrong, right? But I'm supposed to take this solo, and it's like, all right, well, I don't know what to do. So I just looked at Cliff, and he just, there was no like, oh, what do I do? There's nothing. He just like stepped up and blazed this solo, and the band elevated to just another level. And my gear did not come back, but it was when I knew, I was like, yo, I got a band, yo. Like it's when I just knew, like, all those feelings from before of just like finding the right group of people. It was just confirmed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because everything went wrong, and then everything went right, because they didn't even bat an eye. They just went right for it. And for Cliff, and I think Scott, it was their first time playing 930 Club. You know what I mean? And it was Cliff's first time playing that big before. And to watch him step up and do that, and watch the rest of the band just elevate, and the crowd elevated with it, I was just like, yo, I'm in the right business. This is
that's a spiritual connection when you guys don't even have to speak. You know what I mean? You can just give a look, and the other person knows. Like, that's it. That's the thing right there.
Yeah, and it happened on the biggest stage with the most to lose.
Right, with the most to lose and the most to gain. Right.
It always works out like that in the weirdest times.
We've had those same moments.
Yeah. As a DJ, the second where the music stopped, and I'm like, it could be something that built into the song, but that second for me lasts 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
That's right.
Yeah. Absolutely. We were in front of this big crowd, like I think 800, 1,000 people, something like that, and everything went wrong, and everything went right. So my favorite show is not a shining moment for me at all.
But it is though, because it's for the whole band, right?
It's for everybody. Yeah, it's for the whole. As a unit, we were one voice.
Yeah,
and we've been one voice since then, and it's just, that was amazing to me. Yeah, so that's my favorite show.
I absolutely love that. We have absolutely enjoyed having you here with us. You have such great energy. Please tell us about any upcoming projects that you have. Let everyone know where they can follow you, find you, purchase your music, and connect with you.
Sure. So Gordon Showing the People You can find us all social media platforms under Gordon Sterling and the People, written all the way out. You can find our music on all streaming platforms right now. The next thing we have coming around, if you're in the DC area, we're playing with this group called Southern Avenue. They're out of Memphis. Really incredible band, and we're playing with them at Tally Ho Theater, I think, on September 30th. And on September 18th, we're going to be in Frederick, Maryland with Kelly Bell Band. Outside of that, we have a lot coming up that I can't divulge yet because it's not I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. But please follow us on the social media platforms, Gordon Sterling and the People. And look out for also the different side projects and different bands that we have. Like Jenny is the backup singer in my band, Jenny Langer. She is the lead singer in a group called the Bone. This is so bad that I'm. Oh, that's so bad that I'm forgetting this. Jenny, don't hate me. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I'm gonna say
go to Jenny Langer Official and you'll see it. The Bone Shakers. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Bone Shakers. Forgive me, Jenny. Forgive me. I love you. Bone Shakers. Bone Shakers. Bone Shakers. Go check them out. Also check out Natalie Brooke, who also just released a new album. Natalie Brooke and the Infinity Tribe. She plays keyboards with us. And I have a side project that I'm gonna come out with soon called Wake the Rooster. So check that out. But go to Gordon Sterling and the People. You'll see all of our stuff. Jenny, I love you. I'm sorry. Bone Shakers.
I love it. Listen, Jenny, he's got a brain full of lyrics and everything else. So we know that the intentions are always good. We can definitely feel it. We appreciate your energy and wish you much, much continued success. We'd love to have you back here for the next season and bring some of your partners on, and we'd love to chat with all of you.
I would love to come back. Thank you both so very much. Your platform is more important. Keep it going. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it because since I knew I was going to be on here, I've checked out your stuff too. I did my homework too. So, guys, we got going on.
That.
I love what y'all going on, man. Seriously, keep it going, y'all.
Thank you so much, and you too, Gordon. We'll talk to you soon. Be well and stay prosperous and abundant.
Indeed, you too. One love.
Thank you. One love. One love and one truth, right? I love his energy.
Kiana, he brought up just that second where his guitar string broke, and he said that like I could remember on all my fingers how much time the music doesn't stop when I'm in DJ. I'm just like, damn. I don't think back to the anxiety that moment brings, but now that he brings it up when I'm not there.
Anxiety, yeah. When the music stops or the recording stops or you start having technical issues. I mean, we've had to play off of each other many times in the studio, especially.
When we started
our first studio. The Brooklyn basement, y'all.
Yeah, you guys, you had to be there to experience the hot Brooklyn basement, St. James Place. Just stay tuned for all the events that we have coming up for the rest of the month. Also, I will be putting up new VPR clips as soon as this podcast ends. I will begin recording the new clips, so stay tuned to our YouTube and our Instagram so you can see the shorts.
Yeah, and make sure if you don't catch us live, remember you can always go to the replay on social media, on YouTube. We would love for you to visit our website, www.vpradio.org, and you can listen to our podcast. We are everywhere on Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If it's a podcast, we're on there. So check us out. Definitely hit our Spotify playlist. We're on everything. We love you. We appreciate you being here every week. And we wish you all health and love and prosperity. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Guys. Later. See.